Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new video here today on the channel and some more F1 2020 My Team career mode content here for the French Grand Prix. If you guys missed the last episode at Canada, go check it out guys. I'll leave a link up in the top right hand corner of your screen and go check the episode out guys. It was a pretty intense race and pretty historic. I do recommend you check it out. I'm not going to spoil it, but you're missing out if you don't see it. Either way, we are here at Paul Ricard this weekend, the French Grand Prix. And guys, I want to mention really quickly, the rate of uploads on this series has slowed down a little bit lately. I do apologize, but it has been very warm in Spain now for quite some time. You guys in the UK, I'm sure you're experiencing it right now. And it does get quite tiring, you know, doing it daily every single day. And, you know, for me personally, I'm going to be doing these videos all year long. So for me to take some days off, maybe here and there, is good for me in terms of not burning out. And I want to mention really quickly, guys, Driver career mode is on the way. You saw my community post, is coming very soon, so keep your eyes peeled on the sub box guys and those notifications turned on. But guys, if you're going to enjoy this video, drop me a like and subscribe if you are new guys. Help me out, support the channel, and let's get today's episode underway. So first and foremost then, this weekend, looking at the laptop, you can see on screen the weather forecast looks very good, no rain expected. Also, there's two upgrades on the car, one for the chassis, which is a major one. The other one is actually an engine one, courtesy of Mercedes-Benz, a minor upgrade. Unfortunately, we had a second major one which did fail, which was for the tyre wear. So we're going to have to work on that one, unfortunately. But you can see on screen the R&D graph, Alfa Romeo bringing a big upgrade package this weekend, and they jump all of us to go 6th quickest. But we are really, really close. And to be fair, it's pretty much equal now from 2nd all the way down to 8th place in terms of the teams really. It's only Mercedes out front and Haas and Williams at the bottom as we select our power unit allocations for this weekend as we go for an old engine for practice, of course. That's the plan now, to use power unit number 1 for all the practice sessions this season to save a little bit of mileage on power units 2 and 3 basically. So let's see how the weekend goes and hopefully it goes well for us because we did pretty well here last season, and of course the last couple of races guys, we won the last one in Canada and we got a podium in Monaco, so it's going well. Even Baku, we got 2nd place there as well. So we are, I believe, on a 3-race podium streak, which is absolutely insane. But you can see after practice, we go quickest by 0.8 of a second, which is pretty comfortable, therefore hitting our goal bonuses, which is awesome. We also bring in a decent amount of R&D points, which we will spend at the end of the episode, along with most of our cash. But you can see in terms of the acclaim, we are now level 14 heading into this weekend. Mick Schumacher very close to level 11, and as a team, we are so close to level 17. So things are looking very promising. The only bad thing is I forgot to change my engine back to spec 2 for qualifying and the race. So we are going to be doing the rest of the race weekend on power unit number 1, which is a little bit down on power, which was my mistake, but I was in a bit of a rush at the time, and with the rush I just forgot to change the engine round. So it is going to be a shame. It is going to hurt us a little bit in terms of performance, but hopefully not too badly. Either way, jumping into Q1, and the car was really quick. The pace was legit from practice. Not just myself, Mick Schumacher was absolutely flying as well. And I can tell you, in Q1, we only needed one run to get the job done. And that's just a sign of the upgrades and how the car is improving all the time now. And we're really, really close to, I think, you know, making a big difference in terms of separating ourselves from the rest of the midfield. I think if we can have a bit of luck and some upgrades don't fail, we're looking really good. We go P4, you can see there ahead of Verstappen and Stroll, and a really strong lap. Schumacher actually finished P9 in Q1, and we finished in P14 with that one lap. The top 14 covered by a second, but the midfield is looking really, really close. You know, AlphaTauri, 97 Racing, Renault, McLaren, Alfa Romeo, you know, everyone is so close in that midfield pack. But we now move into Q2. And both of these runs were on fresh tyres. This one, of course, was run number 1. And it was actually a really strong lap, to be fair. Really, really good opener. And our best lap of the weekend so far. We crossed the line doing a 26.7, which is the lap Schumacher did, I believe, to get through into Q2. So a good start to the Q2 session. But this lap right here was my best lap in qualifying. We're currently P8. Other ones are going to have to go and do their laps, so we need to improve. The question is, will we get to Q3 around Paul Ricard? We're about to find out. Let's go for a lap of the French Grand Prix. And here we go, out of the final corner. We do get an okay exit, and we are going to improve marginally by about half a tenth. And it doesn't mean a change to our position, but still we remain in 8th place, which is very encouraging. Now we've got to hope that nobody else improves, and luckily for us, only a few cars did. It was actually both of the Red Bulls. Verstappen and Albon were the only 2 guys to improve, and luckily for us, we just made it. Mick Schumacher P11. Had we not improved that lap, Schumacher would have knocked us out. So really fine margins, but Mick Schumacher will get the free tyre choice in the race tomorrow, whereas I'm going to have to force myself now to start on the soft tyres and probably go for a 2-stop strategy. So here we are then in Q3. This first lap was on a used set of soft tyres, and to be fair, it was actually a pretty good banker lap, to be fair, on used tyres. Really good pace, 26.9, not bad at all on a used set. And we go P9 ahead of Max Verstappen, but we're now going to cut on to my final fresh set of soft tyres, and this was my best lap of the weekend. So let's run on board for a full lap of Paul Ricard. Will we move off the table from P9 any further forward? Let's find out. It's time for yet another lap of the French Grand Prix. Here we go, putting the power down, opening up the DRS, keeping the car to the left-hand side. We are going to improve by 0.4 of a second. Is it going to be enough to move us forward in the standings? No, it isn't. We remain P9, unfortunately for us. So even with a 0.4 improvement, we weren't able to go forward in the standings. But having said that, that was the maximum we could achieve. A 26.5 was our quickest lap of the weekend, and there was no more time in the car, really, pretty much nothing else. So we got everything out of it, and you know, Q3 very encouraging. Mick Schumacher P11, a lot of positives to take from this qualifying session, and we looked really strong as a team. We even out qualified Max Verstappen in the Red Bull by 0.4 of a second, which is absolutely insane. But guys, let's have a qualifying. We're now going to move into the race.
It's been a great qualifying session for you. Are you going to carry that momentum into the race?
Oh, I think so for sure. I think we've got a really good car this weekend, and me and Mick both proved that, I think.
How do you feel this season is going for you? Is the car competitive?
It's taken a big step up, I can't lie. You know, you can see the results. We've taken a big step this year, but we're hoping to do better.
Appreciate your time.
And there we go then, after qualifying, quickly looking at the rivalry breakdown. Sebastian Vettel does outscore us by a point, and we now lead 17-15 in the rivalry battle with 3 races to go. 2 races after this weekend. And in terms of acclaim after that qualifying session, Mick is so close to level 11, but as a team, we now move up to level 17. So there you go, great news, and you know, lots of positives to take into the race. But guys, let's have a qualifying. We're now going to move into the French Grand Prix.
Welcome along then to France, host of the world-famous Tour de France. But we're not talking 2 wheels today, we're talking 4, in a country widely thought of as giving birth to the art of motor racing back in the late 1800s. We've come a long way since then, and you're about to find out how far. It's time for the French Grand Prix. 6 lefts and 9 rights give us a total of 15 corners here at the circuit Paul Ricard, and a lap covers an overall distance of 3.6 miles. Average speeds will be somewhere in the region of 142 miles per hour, and they'll be maxing out on the Mistral straight at around 205 miles per hour. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Perez, Esteban Ocon, and Albon, Stroll, Vettel, Martinez, and Max Verstappen, Schumacher, Norris, Daniel Kvyat, and Ricciardo, Gasly, Raikkonen, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Roman Grosjean, Latifi, Magnussen, Russell, and Carlos Sainz will start from the back of the grid. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Right guys, here we are, it's time for the French Grand Prix, and we start from P9 on the grid. 2 consecutive Q3s in a row and 3 in our last 4 if you exclude Baku. And to be fair, the car's been great lately. The pace has been really good. Even in qualifying, we've improved a lot, and I think that's credit to the team. In terms of strategy, though, of course, we are going to be slightly out of favour. The stronger strategy around here by far is the one-stop, going from the mediums onto the hards, or the hards onto the mediums. We're going to have to start on the soft tyres, though, and even on the softs, there is an option of going soft straight onto the hard, but the tyre wear is going to be really, really close. I'm going to go soft, medium, medium, quite aggressive, and hopefully I can go flat out and really pick up the pace. The fact we're starting on softs should give us a good advantage. I think we can definitely get a good start, be aggressive on these, maybe gain a few places at the start, and then it's all about strategy, timing the pit stops beautifully, and hoping a bit of luck goes our way. And also, we're going to have to do lots of overtakes as well on the 2-stopper, so we've got to make sure we make those moves really quickly, really effectively. Fuel-wise, we're going to go 1.2 laps extra, because again, I've got to do a lot of overtaking, so we're going to need the rich mix to get those overtakes done. And yeah, guys, I'm ready for the race. I'm hoping to make it a big one here today. If I could get a top 8, maybe even a top 6 possibly. And of course, I've got my eye on Mick Schumacher because he's got the free tyre choice, which is going to be really, really key. So I'm kind of hoping he can score some points again today and make it 2 points finishes in a row. But that aside, guys, let's get into the race. It's now time for the French Grand Prix. Right, here we go then. Let's see what kind of start we get as we build the revs. Just over 11,000 revs. Lights out and away we go. Not a bad start at all, actually. We're going to go to the middle between Stroll and Sebastian Vettel. We're going to use Vettel in front of us here. He's going to the outside, making it 3 wide with Albon and Stroll. Meanwhile, Verstappen trying to attack me here. We get a bit loose mid-exit. Looks like we're going to just about hold on to P9 for now. Trying to look for a move on Stroll. No way through, though. Verstappen instead going for an overtake around the outside here. We're going to have to go long, and we go around the outside of Stroll, who's very slow mid-apex. We go around the outside through there as well, and we pick up the position, and there we go. We convert a bit of defensive driving from Verstappen into offense and get past Lance Stroll. We're not out of the woods just yet, though. 3 wide in front of us as we try to stay in front of the racing point. We should be okay here as this 3 wide into the chicane. It's getting a bit scruffy here. We're going to go on the inside of Vettel and look for a move. It's going to be close, but we know what the Ferrari's like in terms of straight line speed. It's going to be neck and neck. But look at this, we're pulling ahead now on straight line speed. Absolutely insane. Down the inside into Senior, and we are through up at the P7. Ricciardo in front, and then Albon in front of him. We know we've got pretty good pace compared to Albon. It seems like the Red Bulls are struggling this weekend, so we can definitely challenge, I think, Alex Albon there. But for now, good start. We recovered from, being on the back foot to Verstappen at the start, and we've now pushed on to P7. I wonder if we can get Ricciardo here. Oh, Sebastian Vettel looking down the inside. He gets a bit loose. I almost cut him off there a bit indirectly. I didn't mean it. We'll catch a replay, hopefully, if the game gives me a good angle. But not quite sure what happened there. I think Seb was going for a bit of an audacious move, let's say. But it didn't quite work out for him. Right, lap 1 done and dusted. And we are up to P7 in this race. And I think we've got pace to keep up with the 3 cars in front. I really do. I've done an absolute crofty, and I've just realised the car in front isn't Ricciardo, it's Ocon in the Renault, so I apologise for that one. Right, so far so good. DRS, of course, we've been able now on lap 3, so we're doing a good job of staying within range, and it looks like we do have some pace. Maybe not as much as I thought early on, but we're still competitive enough to, hold on here in P7, I think, maybe even push on. Looks like the Red Bulls have better race pace, though. Albon seems to be going pretty quickly at the moment, as Lewis Hamilton sets the pace in the Mercedes out front.
Lap, we can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Which is why it's super important to stay within a second of Esteban Ocon here, so let's see if we can try and close in a little bit. I think I may have just dropped Sebastian Vettel out of DRS range. The gap is going up to 1.2, so looks like we've done enough in that first sector to push the Ferrari out of range. Meanwhile, we're stuck behind these 3 now. It looks like it is going to be a 4-way battle for P4 in this race.
The energy reducing our overall capacity. The more charge you hold, the faster that capacity will drop.
Yeah, that's not ideal. That's my mistake though. I forgot to change the engine, both for qualifying and the race. Just a double mistake on my part. I was in a bit of a rush and I've got that all wrong, so we're going to have to deal with the consequences. It shouldn't be too bad though. I was just planning on using that engine as my practice engine, which we still can, but it's just going to have a bit more wear on it by the end of this event. It's just going to make it easier anyway in terms of getting to the end of the season on my other allocations, so I don't mind. We shouldn't be in any real trouble, but obviously we are going to be a little bit down on power, which is a shame. But for now, we're still going well here. Still within DRS of Ocon. Pace is looking strong. Front right tyre just starting to overheat a little bit. Have to keep an eye on that. I was considering going a bit longer and trying to go for the hard tyre, but my tyre's overheating already, which is a bad sign. So we may have to abort that one and just stick to the 2-stop. But I may stop 1 lap earlier to try and undercut these guys in front. Front tyres are overheating. It's not looking good for us. And we're going to start to struggle now to hang on to these guys in front. Losing the front is not what you want, but to be fair, losing the front is better than losing the rears, that's for sure. Losing the rears is really painful because you're just oversteering all over the place. And once you start, you can't stop. You get into a vicious cycle of constantly just having oversteer. Oh, I'm struggling. I'm going to pit, I think, and go for the undercut. I'm going to try and go for a bit of a different strategy and go a lap earlier. So here we go. Into the pit entry. Looks like Perez is going to pit as well. Get it all slowed down. Right, here we go then. Looks like we're not the only ones going for the undercut. Going to box the mediums. Hope to get past Ocon and hopefully get past Albon as well. We need a good stop here. Hopefully, fingers crossed, sub 2 second. Didn't catch what tyres Schumacher's on, but he's holding up a bit of a train of cars. Right, medium tyres, give me those please. We've got 2 fresh sets, so let's use them. Damn it. Got held there. It was a good stop actually. It was so good to the point we almost got Perez, but we got held at the end.
Okay, you only have to stop once now. 1 stop left.
Vettel and Verstappen in behind as well. Right, let's see if we can claw back that gap we had to Perez. We actually lost a little bit in the pit stop phase to the Racing Point driver. We've had a good outlap. We've got ourselves back within DRS range of Sergio Perez. Pace was very good on this one. We've managed to push on quite well. Let's see if Albon and Ocon did pit. It's going to be close. Looks like they didn't pit though. There's Albon though. Okay, Albon, we've got him. But Ocon seemingly has either stayed out. No, he's behind us. Okay, right, we've got them both. There we go. I thought it was Ricciardo, but we're through. The undercut has worked. And we're right back into play here with Leclerc and Bottas, I believe. So they've lost a lot of time staying out 1 more lap, these guys. But we are right in the mix. There we go. Happy days. Undercut has worked to perfection. And we've gained 2 places. And Ocon actually on the soft tyres in the Renault, so he's going quite aggressive on his strategy. Right then, let's see if we can settle into a bit of rhythm now and maybe make a few moves. That'd be nice. There we go. Personal best. Pace is looking good. We're now catching up to all the traffic. All the guys in the 1-stoppers. I believe Mick Schumacher is the first, of course, on that free tyre choice. So he's pretty much leading the train of cars. So this is going to be interesting, this. On paper, if I'm not mistaken, Schumacher's the net race leader. Because everyone has to stop at least 1 more time. Right, we're in a big gaggle of cars now. Losing quite a lot of time. Having to go defensive there as Albon looks for a move. Just trying to see where I can make an overtake because it's so equal at the moment. You know, DRS is non-effective because of the massive slipstream effect. So it's hard to look for a move at the moment. It really is. Right, we're going to try something a little bit different here. Perez stuck behind Russell at the moment. We've got to be a little bit bold and a little bit audacious down the inside of Perez at the final corner. These are the moves we've got to make things happen. Let's see if we can get past Russell now for good measure in the Williams. It is Mercedes who has a Mercedes engine, but we are going to get the legs on him, and we should get ahead into turn 1, which we do. There we go, nice little double overtake, and we've got past Perez now. So we've got past all 3 of those guys I said we could definitely overtake, which is great. So now it's all about, can we dig into the big boys here and make a little dent into their races? Bottas and Leclerc, the next 2 cars. It'd be nice to get something out of these boys. We're going to get on the inside of Leclerc through here and make a cheeky move. Bit unexpected, but Leclerc left the door wide open, so we walk straight through it. There we go. Now we've got to try and stay in front of Leclerc, which we should be able to. And there we go, job done. Right, Bottas is next. Big defensive battle going on up ahead. 3 wide, there's contact, and Williams goes for a spin, and we get past Bottas indirectly in the process. That's what I'm talking about, P11. That Williams going for a spin. Looks like no safety car or VSC for that, but we're now past Bottas and Leclerc and up to P11, which is absolutely awesome. Let's see if we can find a way past Sainz and Magnussen. Then we've got Grosjean a little bit further up the road. We need to make these moves because this is for net position. Everyone's got one stop left in this race, so these moves are important. Sainz goes defensive into turn 3. We're just going to sit back, wait for the right move to appear. If not, we'll get him on the back straight, hopefully. We can get a nice clean exit out of here. That's good enough. Let's see what happens. Sainz will have DRS, of course, on Magnussen. But we've got a pretty good straight line speed. Here comes Bottas as well in the Mercedes. He's going to the inside. We're going to go to the outside here. Can we make this overtake work? Oh, we've run that in very wide on the brakes. I've overcooked that massively. We're going to have a very poor exit as a consequence. I went way too far on the brakes, but we managed to get it slowed down. And we are going to stay ahead. So there we go. A lovely double overtake whilst defending from Bottas. And we're through up into P9. Grosjean is the next car. Okay, Leclerc pits for Ferrari. That's an early second stop for him. I wonder if he's going to go into the hard tyres, but that is a very early stop from Charles Leclerc. Yep, Schumacher pits. I believe he was the net race leader, so Mick is doing a great job this race. He's not late position slip by. He stayed P1 of those on the free tyre choice. Let's see where he ends up in this race. I'm really curious to see. But there he is. He's currently P4 on the pit exit, so this is looking very good for Schumacher. He now goes onto the hard compound tyres. We're now going to have Bottas for company very soon once again in the Mercedes, so buckle up, folks. We ain't done yet. Right, the remaining cars who haven't done a stop yet are in the pit lane. Kvyat and Norris, so Hamilton retakes the race lead. Kvyat and Norris look very good in this race. They had a 15-second gap to me, so they're looking pretty strong on that one stop. I think it's going to be hard. Yeah, it's going to be hard to catch Kvyat and Norris, I think. They've done a really good job to get that gap up. So we're P2 for now. Lewis 11 seconds up the road. Bottas behind us now in DRS zone. Here comes Bottas. He's got momentum. I'm not going to fight this one. I think I can keep up with him, looking at the pace. It's just the final sector where I'm losing a bit of time. But if I can stick with him, I think he could drag me along with DRS. We're scheduled to pit next lap, so we're having to go 1 lap longer, of course, on this lap to compensate, or should I say 1 lap longer on this stint to compensate for the undercut. So we're going to have to take the pain on the extra worn tyres this stint. So I think sticking with Bottas will help us out in that regard. Lewis Hamilton pits. Bottas is pushing on now. Oh, that's a big lock up. That's not going to help. Big mistake from me. That's put me out of 1 second range. We do have DRS lucky enough for us, though, to bring us back into play. I need a big first sector. First sector needs to be big so I can stay within Bottas's DRS range. Right, we're going to pit this lap. Been a pretty good stint, actually. We did lose the tyres at the end, which is a shame. Getting it also down to the 60. There we go. But we're now going to go to the mediums. Perez pits as well, as I'm expecting everyone else to do. Hopefully Bottas gets held. That'd be pretty nice. I think Bottas may get held by Perez, possibly. We'll find out shortly. Does he get held? No, he doesn't. That's a shame. But Bottas was too quick. Schumacher now up to P2. And once Stroll pits, Schumacher will be the net race leader. Again, we get held a little bit there. 2.2, exact same pit stop as last time. But we're now on the mediums, fresh mediums.
Let's get some heat into those tires.
And we're running in the points. We're P10 already. So onwards and upwards. Perez behind on the hard tyres for racing point. So game on. Let's see what the pace is like. We've got a claw 10 seconds back on Raikkonen, who's the next car ahead of Bottas. That's the target we're aiming for. Let's see if we can achieve it. Schumacher's currently leading the French Grand Prix. This is interesting. There we go, Lance Stroll pits. So in theory now, I can't see it, but Schumacher should be leading the French Grand Prix. But he's got a lot of traffic behind him. Let's see how this one pans out. Bottas is really quick. He's flying in that Mercedes. But not as fast as that though, which is quite surprising. We're keeping him in our sights. He's not running away. We set a new personal best of our own. The pace is pretty strong, but the gap to Kimi isn't coming down that much. Unfortunately, every car in the top 7 is in a big DRS train. Looking at it now on the minimap, Schumacher is still leading. He's got a bit of a gap actually to the guy in second, which I'm guessing is Kvyat, which is looking very good. But it's not over yet. There we go, Bottas, new fastest lap. We're only 4/10 off that pace, so the pace is very strong. As strong as it can be. We just can't make any inroads in the cars ahead of us, unfortunately. I just don't have the pace, unfortunately. I'm really struggling to make a dent. We're gaining every single lap, but it's not enough.
There's 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Bottas now on the back of Raikkonen. Hopefully Bottas making some moves might just drop people out of position, drop them out of DRS, but at the minute that big DRS train up the road is making it really hard for me to catch. Also, Perez and Stroll now behind me are starting to catch me actually and claw me in a little bit. Ooh, Verstappen's out. Okay, that's a big one. I mean, it's behind us, unfortunately. No safety car or virtual safety car, it looks like, though, from the incident. So we still continue going to the finish line, race to the finish. Schumacher's still holding on to the lead here. Hamilton can't get past. I think Schumacher's managing his fuel and ERS beautifully on the back straight, and he's got good top line speed to hang on to that P1 for now. Lewis cannot find a way through. Hamilton has now taken the lead. Schumacher in second, holding up all these cars pretty much. To be fair, I say holding up, maybe he has got the pace to stay in front, but the DRS is making it impossible for him to pull away. Kind of like me, to be fair. You know, sometimes I've got the pace to pull away, but when the AI have DRS, it's so hard to shake them off. Been there before myself around here. I am starting to see cars now. Captain Kimi 2.6. Stroll, Perez and Albon are behind me. They're all quicker than me, so it's going to be tricky this. We're catching, but we're being caught at the same time. This is going to go down to the wire, this is. Oh, Schumacher's been overtaken. I think he might have damage. He's been overtaken by 2 cars this lap. He's going backwards big time. I wonder if maybe he got damage in the battle versus Hamilton. That could be a possibility. It's hurting his race. 2 laps to go, though. Let's see if we can hold on for a good result. Last lap of the race. Can we get anything out of this? We're P9 currently. Can we get a few more places? Let's find out. Oh, contact. Bottas, contact. Oh, I don't know what the hell happened there. But we've benefited. And we've moved up to P7. I don't think we're close enough to get a move on Daniel Ricciardo. But Raikkonen and Bottas behind us. There must have been some kind of contact. I think it may have been Schumacher and Bottas, to be fair. Oh my goodness me, for the second time this race, contact right in front of us. I'm trying to close in on these guys to see if we can get anything out of this race. Power down out of there. I don't have much ERS or fuel to fight with though, that's the problem. We'll keep trying. Looks like Schumacher's going to finish P4, which is a shame. Both AlphaTauris are going to get onto the podium. And looks like Hamilton's in the race lead. But this isn't over yet. Can we get P6 or P5 even? Getting a lot of dirty air, especially on these worn tyres now. Gonna have to try something risky to get anything out of this, I think. Last bit of rich mix and DRS as we try to close the gap here. Trying to have a look into the final corner, but not close enough, unfortunately. So it's going to be P7 for us. Hamilton wins it, and Schumacher gets P4. What a race for us. Big points. Across the line we go. I'll take that.
All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
And Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today and the results speak for themselves.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team. And they certainly deserve it.
Well then guys, there we go. The results are in. Hamilton picks up the win for Mercedes. A 1:29.0, fast lap of the race, comfortably ahead of anybody else. Pierre Gasly and Danny Kvyat make it an AlphaTauri double podium, which is absolutely incredible for them. what a result. And it's a shame because Mick Schumacher was in front of them the whole race, but the second Hamilton arrived and made a move, I think something happened. I'll watch it back on the replay. Hopefully I won't forget to include it in the video. If I do, you have permission to, you know, insult me in the comments, whatever. But hopefully I'll put it in the video and I'll record it in time. And I don't get given some crappy camera angles either. But Schumacher P4, it should have been his first podium. It should have been, but unfortunately he just missed out. Lando Norris P5, Daniel Ricciardo 6th place. We finished in P7 ahead of Bottas, Raikkonen, Stroll. And then out of the points we have Albon, Perez, Vettel, Ocon, Leclerc, Giovinazzi, Sainz, Grosjean, Magnussen, Russell, Latifi, and Max Verstappen, the only retirement from the race here today. We then move into the standings and we move up into 3rd place, overtaking Sebastian Vettel. Are we a championship contender? Like I said in the last episode, maybe. If we improve the car a bit more and get a couple more big upgrades on and they don't foul, we could challenge in the second half of the season. It is only round 10, there's 12 more to go, so you never know. And also Schumacher, with that result, gets himself up into 14th place, so he's back up in the points. And, you know, the pressure's on Mick. The last 2 races, we've been really looking at him, and he's delivered. He's scored points in both races, so Mick, under pressure, put in some big results in, which is really, really good for us as a team. In terms of the constructors, we are in 3rd place and comfortably in 3rd place, and we extend our lead over Racing Point. We're now 46 points ahead of them, which is absolutely mental. And AlphaTauri overtake Red Bull Racing for P5 in the constructors, which is absolutely amazing for them. And obviously the podium today helped them out, but it's a really weird one seeing the junior team better than the works team. But guys, that is it for the race here at France. A brilliant race, double points finish for the 2nd race in a row, and a really good day for us at the office. But we now move into the laptop, guys, preparing the next couple of races in the future.
You're breaking all expectations. What's your secret?
There is no real secret. It's just about the team, and you know, they're delivering on giving us a good car this season, which really helps.
Your teammate beat you today. Was it a setup issue or something else?
To be fair, I think he deserved it. I think obviously the one-stop strategy was definitely the faster way to go, but he drove really well today and I can't complain too much. So yeah, credit to him.
Appreciate your time.
Okay, so it's time to talk about the rivalry breakdown, and it's 3-3 after today's race. So we do have a 2-point lead over Sebastian Vettel with 3 races remaining. So things are going to go down to the wire here with the Ferrari driver. Also worth noting, we are now level 14, Mick Schumacher up to level 11, and as a team, we are well into level 17, now getting a 50% combined acclaim boost, which is absolutely awesome. So a really great day at the office, a really strong weekend, and $1.39 million also to go with it. So happy days. A couple damage deductions from practice, I believe, for me. I had a bit of a spin, but generally a good weekend, and we're now up to $13.45 million. Okay, so we only have a very short turnaround until the Austrian Grand Prix in 3 days' time. So first of all, let's assign a couple of activities, and we're going to go, it's only 2 days, so we're going to go for weight training to improve Mick Schumacher's pace again, to hopefully keep him, you know, delivering those good results for us as a team. We're now going to move over to the R&D. We're going to first of all purchase the failed chassis upgrade that we should have had this race, and that will arrive after the Austrian Grand Prix, and that leaves us with 964 points. Now, I might go for another chassis upgrade for the weight redistribution, possibly. It is quite tempting, so I'm going to try and get that on the car. That should arrive also before the British Grand Prix, so we should have hopefully 2 chassis upgrades on the car heading into our home race at Britain after the next race in Austria. In terms of the progress, you can see the 3 upgrades are on the way. That should hopefully take us comfortably above Alfa Romeo, and we can start closing the gap to Renault, Racing Point, Ferrari, and Red Bull, as you can see on the progress history here on screen. But that aside, guys, let's spend a little bit of money because we've got it, so we may as well use it. Now, we're going to go for facilities, and you know, looking at different options here, I feel like we could work on improving the quality control of the aerodynamics. That's something that needs to work, you know, a bit better for us. So we are going to purchase a quality control upgrade. Build time, I'm going to go for that as well. That's going to help us out, and that means now all of our departments, the 4 main ones pretty much, are all almost level 2. We've got to work on the durability, it has to be said, but that's not as important right now. But the 3 key ones, chassis, aero, engine, are all level 2, which is absolutely awesome. So there we go. Happy days. Let's skip ahead to the next race in Austria. I can't believe it, guys, but we just can't catch a break. Unfortunately, the energy store upgrade has failed for the reliability of the car. So yeah, that is really, really annoying. We just can't seem to get any luck with upgrades at the moment, and, you know, it is a shame. Of course, the quality control on this one is level 1, which is more to be expected, but even still, we just can't catch a break even on level 2 components. Either way, we're going to have to purchase that at the next episode. So guys, we'll address that, hopefully in due course. But for now, we've still got 2 big chassis upgrades on the way, and hopefully they don't fail us. But guys, that's it from me here today for this episode of the My Team Career Mode. If you guys enjoyed it, drop me a like. It massively helps me out. And subscribe if you are new to the channel, guys, for daily F1 2020 content on the channel. And also, guys, click the little bell icon to be notified when new videos do go live. And also, alongside that, check on screen right now, guys, for the full playlist of the My Team Career Mode so far, along with the previous episode. But guys, that's it from me here today, and I'll see you all next time for the Austrian Grand Prix.